So let's think about, what do we do to help them? Because I always say to the kids when I do my sixth form talks, life is not a straight path, it's wiggly, and you have to be able to deal with the ups and downs. And perhaps if I have to boil it down, these are my top 4 things. Okay, of course, there are many other things, but these are my top 4 protective things. And they are backed up by evidence. But just to say, number 1, help them to build a social network. Humans need other humans. We need each other to get through difficult times. We've seen that in the last couple of years, but it's super important for young people. So wherever you can get them to make connections, meet new friends, volunteer, talk to their family and friends, all of that is vital. Number 2 is to try new things. One of the problems with perfectionism is that the more perfectionistic you are, the less likely you are to try something new, because you won't be great at it. You will fail potentially, and they will not try new things. So they miss out on the opportunities to build their confidence, discover that they might be the next David Bailey or whatever. So wherever you can, try to get them to just give it a go. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go right. When I talk to sixth formers, I talk about famous failures and how Jay-Z had to try multiple different producers before anyone, and in the end he set up his own company and so on. So it's just really important to talk about, how things go wrong sometimes, but that's how we learn, but it's okay. Finding purpose is really interesting, because this new young generation coming through are obsessed with feeling like they have to know what they want to do with their life. And I'm not sure where that's come from, but it's shifted massively from 20, 30 years ago. So they get very, very down if they don't know what they want to do with their life. They feel like they don't have a purpose. They feel actually quite pointless and hopeless. So we need to address this. We need to get ahead of it and talk about purpose, I think, for every day, a mini daily purpose rather than your life purpose. Who knows what your life purpose is going to be? Some people don't have one, they have many. Some people change halfway through their life. It doesn't matter. Whereas a daily small purpose can make them feel like they achieve things and they are building their confidence and well-being. And then my final secret ingredient might sound quite like weird, but it's sleep. It's sleep. We totally underestimate how important sleep is sometimes, and kids especially, and teens and young people. Sleep helps them in so many ways: physical well-being, mood, memory, metabolism, academic achievement. It's kind of like a superpower, I tell them. It's so, so important. But the thing is, teens have a funny sleep pattern, funny compared with us adults and the toddlers. So teens tend to sleep from about midnight or 1 o'clock for about 9 hours. And that's why they're so groggy in the mornings. They should actually still be asleep. So wherever we can, we need to help them to get the sleep they need to encourage good quality sleep. It will be transformative. All right, so just to reiterate some of those key points, this generation coming through, one of their biggest fears is fear of failure, fear of letting people down, and lack of purpose. And that is shown in multiple studies around the world. What do we do? So I would have these young people come in and sit in front of me in a consultation and say, I feel at rock bottom. I'm absolutely at my wit's end. I don't know what to do with my life, but I can't tell my parents. And I would say, okay, right, let's try and unpick some of that. Then tell me a bit about why you can't tell your parents. Is it because, they're not very supportive, or they don't kind of believe in mental health? Is it something like that? And the answer would often come out, no, they're great. They're lovely. I feel like I can't tell them because I don't want to let them down and I don't want to worry them. The young person, felt that failure was not an option and they would be letting down their families. And this was heartbreaking, because for me, as a mum and a stepmom, and also just, a human, I would know that at home somewhere was family, carers, parents sitting at home potentially thinking, do you know what, we'll be okay because we've got a good relationship. They'll talk to us. It's not like those other families where they don't talk. We'll be okay. And I'm here to say they don't, sadly. So I guess this is almost the main reason I started doing these talks and kind of wanting to address parents and teens and really get ahead of these problems. It's this slide. It's to say that if there is one thing we can all do, whether we are teachers, parents, counselors, mental health workers, we need to tell young people early on, regularly, that there is nothing that they could tell us or that they should feel is off the table, essentially, that we wouldn't want to help them with. We are there and we are open to discussing anything. And I say that because a lot of the time we think, oh, you mean like academic failure or academic work or failed an exam or relationships, maybe something like that. Actually, I'm talking about anything. Those are big issues. But sometimes what happens comes out of the blue. A young person gets accused of a crime or accused of sexual assault or accused of plagiarism. Something happens and they are so mortified and they're ridden with guilt, and they just feel like they can't tell anyone, as well as feeling like that about academic failure. So I think it's so important that we build that trust and build those relationships. And I've put the little caveat at the bottom because you know what teens are like. They'll be like, yeah, but if I tell you, what are you going to do about it? Actually, even if we don't know what to do, we can help them to find someone who can. And I think, you know, that is absolutely vital. So for me, this is kind of my biggest message. We need to let them know they are not on their own.